This morning, you walked down a street, probably a straight one. You passed a drain, maybe a street light, a building with clean water running inside it. You didn't think about any of it. Why would you? It's just a city. Cities are normal. But the story of the city is far stranger than normal. Because one of the oldest cities humans ever built is also one of the biggest mysteries we have. It did everything right. It was cleaner and better planned than most places people live today. And then, slowly, everyone walked away from it. And we still can't fully say why. Go back about 4,500 years to the banks of the Indus River, in what's now Pakistan and northwest India. There's a civilization here that most people have never heard of. We call it the Indus Valley, or the Harappans, after one of its cities. And it was massive, spread across an area larger than ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia combined. More than 1,000 settlements, possibly over 1 million people. Now, picture their cities. Harappa, Mohenjo-Daro. These aren't tangles of mud huts. They're laid out on a grid. Straight streets crossing at right angles like something a modern planner would draw. The bricks are standardized, the same proportions, baked the same way, across hundreds of miles. Think about what that means. People separated by enormous distances agreed on the exact size of a brick. And then there's the plumbing. Most homes had their own bathroom. Wastewater ran out through covered drains beneath the streets. A sewage system. 4,500 years ago, there were public wells, a giant watertight pool we now call the Great Bath. Clean water in, dirty water out, all engineered. For most of human history after this, cities were filthier than this. You had to wait until the 1800s to reliably get plumbing this good again. So these people were brilliant, organized, ahead of their time. But here's where it gets strange. When archaeologists started digging these cities up in the 1920s, led by a man named John Marshall, they kept looking for the things every other ancient civilization leaves behind. The giant palace, the royal tomb stuffed with gold, the towering monument to a god king, the carvings of a ruler crushing his enemies. They found almost none of it. No obvious kings, no grand royal burials, no big temples to a single god, barely any signs of war, few weapons, few city walls built for battle, no evidence of a great army. A civilization this size, this advanced, and it seems to have run without the usual pyramid of one ruler at the top, crushing everyone below. We don't fully understand how. That alone makes it one of the most unusual societies that ever existed. And they could write. They left behind thousands of small carved seals, beautiful little stone squares, often showing animals, including a strange single-horned creature people sometimes call the unicorn. Above the animals sit rows of symbols, a script, their own writing system with hundreds of distinct signs. And we cannot read a single word of it. To this day, the Indus script is undeciphered. We don't know what language it recorded. The inscriptions are tiny, usually just a few signs each, so there's almost nothing to work with. One scholar, Asko Parpala, has spent his life arguing its true writing may be connected to early Dravidian languages. Others, like Steve Farmer and Michael Witzel, have argued something unsettling, that it might not be full writing at all, just symbols. The debate is still open. A whole civilization left us its words and they sit there in silence. So, what happened to them? For a long time, the popular story was invasion. An early excavator, Mortimer Wheeler, pointed at some scattered skeletons and imagined a massacre, outsiders pouring in and wiping the cities out. It made a dramatic story. It's also almost certainly wrong. There's no real evidence of a great conquest. No burned cities full of war dead. The truth seems quieter and, in a way, scarier. The climate changed. Geoscientist Liviu Gheosan and his team studied the ancient rivers and found that the monsoon rains that fed this whole world slowly weakened over centuries. Rivers shifted. one major river system the Harappans depended on appears to have dried up. The water that made those clever cities possible, the same water running through all that beautiful plumbing, started to fail. And so people did the rational thing. They left, not in one dramatic night, over generations. They drifted toward smaller villages, toward more reliable water, away from the great grid cities. The plumbing went quiet, the streets emptied, the standardized bricks stopped being made, and the writing, whatever it said, stopped too. The cities didn't fall, they were abandoned, slowly, sensibly, completely. And then they were forgotten so thoroughly that for thousands of years, people walked right over the buried mounds without knowing what was underneath. In the 1800s, British railway crews actually dug up Harappan bricks and used them as gravel to lay train tracks, accidentally grinding up one of the oldest cities on Earth without realizing what it was. Now sit with that for a second. A civilization larger than Egypt, cleaner than most cities that came after it, possibly more equal than almost any society of its age. And it slipped out of human memory so completely that we only rediscovered it 100 years ago. We don't know what they called themselves. We don't know who led them. We can't read what they wrote. We're not even sure exactly why they left. Your city feels permanent, doesn't it? The streets, the water, the lights. It feels like it'll always be here, like it's just the way things are. The Harappans almost certainly felt the same way. Their world was the most advanced on the planet, until the rain changed, and it wasn't. If this rearranged something in your head, do the small thing, like subscribe and stick around. There's always another layer underneath. Because this morning you walked down a street and didn't think about it. 4,500 years ago, someone walked down a straighter one, past cleaner drains in a greater city. And one day, they walked out of it for the last time and left us nothing we can read. Keep looking closer.